I'm Lexo5. I'm super excited to be here with Euphoria, Mama Bree, Cray, and Galactic is here in spirit. Can you guys feel her? Can you hear her? They're actually in a party with her, so that's what I mean when I say in spirit. Anywho, we're super excited to go work on this video. We're going to try and keep it super simple today. The goal is if you get hit by a ball, you get respawned. It's a basic concept. It's a super simple and easy game mechanic to implement, and I want to teach you guys how we do it. We're going to be building Ruler of the Hill. Behind the scenes, Oculus is calling it Ruler of the Hill 2. We're not doing that. It's going to be called Ruler of the Hill. The original will eventually be named Ruler of the Hill Classic. And Craig, would you like to drop the portal? We're going to go check this classic out. It came out a couple years ago by Mercot27, Lexo5, that's me. And I want to say I'm going to open up the menu and remember the other two names. But yeah, we had 4 of us working on it that night in a single night, and it was a lot of fun. So we did a lot of modifications as we worked on it through the rest of the weekend, but we thought we'd try and do the same thing here. There you can see all the balls in, and they come down the hill like madness to come and take us out. And if you get hit by the ball, they're all set to bouncy, which makes the world a little bit laggier than I'd like it. So we're not going to do bouncy balls in this one, although they are kind of fun when they bounce. That is that. So we got some other cool stuff in here. This is definitely the old classic style of Horizon Worlds building. You can see the art style is very basic. Our other creators were, give it drum roll. Oh, there's a lot of people on here. Oh, I forgot Crows came in and did some audio. We had Elastic, JT. This is the guy that was there on opening night, or was it Badger? I don't know. It's one of these two. And yeah, JT was there too. Burn Buns, Obsulate. Crows, lots of fun people worked on this project. Anyway, shout out to all of them. And we wanted to do an updated version, classic, bring it to the people of today. And so we loved the medieval theme. We'll be keeping that, but this place was way too big. I mean, it's way massive, as you can see. So we're going to be sizing it down. We're going to keep it a little bit smaller. The audio settings in here on extended. Talk to me, people, talk to me.
Hello.
Can barely hear them. I think Mama Bree's on party only.
Hello.
Yeah, so this space is so big, we really want to make sure that we can hear people better. So bringing the space down, making it smaller is going to be important, thinking about audio spacing. And basically you run up the hill. You try not to get hit by the balls or the axes, and there's not enough balls, so that's a problem. If you get hit by glue, you get slowed down. Oh no! We got cannons that fire balls out that move back and forth. You got glue bubbles that you can jump on, which gives you low gravity. And there's Mama like racing up the hill. Look at her moving her arms.
Right.
Go, Mama, go, go. Oh, no. Oh, they got me too. And so as you can see, this is the game. Now let's go get this. I'm going to meet you guys in build mode. Cray, if you can take everybody there. Oh, hit wrong button. This one. And I will see you guys over there. Here we go. Create. And
I'm the new ruler.
As you can see, Euphoria is the ruler, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun basic mini game. We thought we'd get the basic version of this out today, and then we will keep working on it into the future. So down here you can see that they've been grayboxing, sort of. The ideas here, so we got like rocks that split you into 2 different paths, rocks that you run up, and basic tiles. Up here they've been working on the size of the room that we can run through. And I'm still feeling like this might be a little too big on the width. And I'm thinking the closer in together it is, the better, because you'll be able to hear people a little bit better. And we're also thinking in the future we'd like to add some hidden tunnels on the sides, on both sides of this. So yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and stop the world. I think we're just going to start with the basics, guys. So the first thing we need to do is start with 1 ball, not this many. So we're going to go delete all of our balls. All the balls are in the gutter. Is that a bowling song? Oh, yes, it is. Okay. Boom, and delete. All right, so we start with just 1 ball right here. And this is going to be the basic ball for us to work with. I'm gonna open up the properties panel of this, and we're going to go to the More tab. And this is where things get interesting, because we got collision events from players. So when we hit a player, whether we hit their head, torso, we don't want to collide with their hands. I don't think. If you touch it with your hands, you can push it away. Now we'll collide with their hands. And there we go. So no one can grab it, right? It's just physics. And now we need to create a quick script. So this is a very simple script. We go gizmos, pull out a script, and this will be the ball. All right, so we'll go ahead and call it ball. Okay. Now when world is started, we don't need that, so we'll go ahead and delete it. Now down here under events, we'll see that there is when colliding with player. We got one with info. Let's get the extra information. Nice to have. Not that we need it, but nice to have. So when colliding with player with info, we need to go to the motion tab, go down to player motion, respawn player, drag player pill down, not to self, but to a referenced spawn point. So go create an object called respawn. Now, in the future, we might consider making this respawn as a manager that we send the player information to, and it has a list of respawn points and it chooses one at random. But for now, we're just going to have a singular respawn point, which will drag and replace self. And like that, our ball is done. We have more to do to it, but this is the basics of the ball. And on the ball, we can attach the script ball. We need that respawn point. So let's go grab our respawn point for the world respawn. Drag this one up, place it here, open properties panel, drag it over and into this empty pill slot. Now with that referenced, we can make a lot of these balls and see what happens. So here we go. 1, 2, there we go. Quite a few balls. We're going to go ahead and duplicate those forward, over, forward, array tool, array tool, array tool, array tool. All right, guys, I think we're about ready for you to come try some balls out and give it your best shot. Duplicate. There we go. Ready to come on up? We're going to have you go into play mode, script, clear, and play. Okay, now you're going to race up and try to get past all these balls without getting hit. If you get hit, you are going to have to start from the beginning. Oh, you can just run to the side. Oh, that's not fun. Hey, I did it. Did we all make it through? Yay! Euphoria's last. Okay, so now let's just see somebody get hit by the ball. It's probably not good. It's going to hurt, you guys. It's going to hurt.
I'm going in. Let's see.
Why isn't it working? Oh, there you go.
Oops.
Interesting. I feel like I'm not getting collided with.
There we go.
Is it not colliding with my feet or something? Like...
Oh, wait.
Huh.
There we go.
What do you have to do to get it to collide with you?
It's just like my hand. I feel like I put my hand in there.
I'm just moving around it.
So these balls, not detecting collisions very well. Let's stop the world. Let's go into player settings. I can't turn this on because I'm not the creator, but I was thinking if we turn on can hands collide with physical objects might have done it. Let's see, what other reason might there have been why that wasn't getting us collisions? We could just try making the balls smaller, but I feel like there's something... It's like it's working, but not very well. Let's try making a series of balls that are smaller and see if those ones work better. So I'm just going to duplicate, open up the properties panel, attributes, and change the size down to 111. I'm also wondering if maybe it's because the balls are all uniform in size. Maybe they're too perfect of spheres. We'll delete some of these upper ones here. Delete. Still over capacity and delete. Delete that row there. Not enough. Keep going. There it goes. Okay. So let's go and see if we hit play, what that does. Okay. So now theoretically the small balls should actually hurt. No. No, it just pushes me. It's literally just pushing me. I don't know why.
That was weird. Like the 5th hit, I got one.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is super weird. Do we have to like put our hands super far inside of it? Do I have to hit it? It's like if I hit it with my back, does it work better on my back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like my back is hitting better. If I had to take a guess, the collisions are just super off on these balls. So we're going to try something slightly different. We're going to delete all of these except for 4. So I'm going to select all of them except for 4 on each. So deselect these 4, deselect these 4, and delete. Okay. So the idea here is that we take these 4 balls and then we slightly skew them. Just a hair. Okay. Now go ahead and hit play. And I'm wondering if the physics engine will just have to calculate. They're not even rolling. Are they really not even rolling? They're not even... Oh, there they go. Maybe? They don't roll. The collisions are also just as before. So, not worth doing.
Just to see. What if we try just a cube? What if we try a cube just to see if it just reacts different?
It's a good idea. Okay. Let's pull out a cube shape.
Reliable cube.
Open up the properties panel. Attach ball. Reference the spawn point. Okay. More. Collision events from players. Heads, torsos, hands. Okay. Set this to be... All right, script and play. Run into the cube. Not in the slightest. It's still just my back that collides with it.
That is real. It's my back too that got me to respawn.
Hands, no collisions. Okay, so a few minutes later, we discovered that if we open up the script, when world is started, we are going to need to add this code, which is found on the Actions tab. It's called Set Who Can Grab Object. Drag that over, and we're going to set that to be Server Player, which is found on the Values tab right here under Value Input, and I'll delete the duplicate. So once we've done that, if we open up the ball, we need to make sure that the ball is set to both grabbable and physics. So then if we go to the More tab and we scroll down just past the collision event set to players, we can see who can grab, and we want to set that to script assignees. So now that we've got that set up, our script is going to assign this who can grab to server players so that players can't actually grab the balls. Now in the future, we could use this mechanic to allow the ruler, the person at the top of the hill, to be able to grab balls and throw them down to the player. But for now, we're just going to leave it as is. But now that we got this set up, we should be able to make a ton of these balls and see they all collide with the players more accurately than before. I will also note that we did have to turn on hands can collide with players for the hands can collide with physical objects to make it so that the hands did cause an effect. And let's go ahead and drag this down. We're going to duplicate some more balls out. There we go. Array tool a few more. Very nice. And then we're going to go and select every other one to create kind of a minefield for us to play in. Duplicate. Slide that a little further. Duplicate. Slide that over to here. Duplicate. In fact, undo. Select all of these. And we'll duplicate till we run out of space. Oh, that's good enough. Okay, got plenty of balls if you guys are ready to come try it out. We'll go ahead and hit script and play. Come into the world, and we'll see who makes it to the top of the hill. It's going to be me.
Let's go.
Nope. Oh, man.
Oh!
You guys did it. No. Nice job. Nice job. Mama got trapped. And
Did,
so...
I got stuck in a loop.
Yeah, so we got to fix that loop. And so to fix the loop, we're going to do this. If you open up the ball script...
Hold on, I'm stuck.
I'll fix it. You're good. So to fix what happened to Cray and Mama there, when colliding with the player, we want to make sure that the player is not close to the spawn point. So we say if, and then we're going to go and say the distance to is greater than. So we'll grab the greater than symbol. And then we're going to go scroll down and find the distance to under vector math. And then we're going to calculate the distance from the point that the player was hit and the respawn point position. And we're going to then say, go to, variables tab and create a new a new vector variable, which is going to be called the spawn position. Go ahead and call that position, press confirm. And then we're going to go to world start and set the spawn position. So we'll go say set spawn position and then go to this tab, scroll up to object, grab position of object, position of self. So now that we've saved the spawn position on world start, we can use it as many times as we want without having to call that position of self. And that makes the script run faster. So we can say if the distance from the point that the player was hit and the spawn point is greater than an amount, we'll then indent the respawn player inside of this. And then that amount we're going to do as a value input, number input, and set it to, let's say, 7 meters. Lucky number 7. All right. So you have to be more than 7 meters away from spawn to be able to be hit. So now if we hit clear and play, you won't get stuck in a loop. Let's go, everybody come on down and try to get hit right here around the spawn zone. You shouldn't be able to get hit until you walk away. So if I go here, I'm going to get hit and I respawn. But right here when I walk...
Oh, yeah, I'm safe.
I'm getting hit.
Oh.
How are you guys not
Wait,
getting hit?
No, I'm getting hit a lot.
Oh, because I used position of self, not position of spawn point. My bad. So I used self, not the position of the respawn point. My bad. Okay, and stop world and hit play. That's why we have testers, so we can abuse them, right, Mama Bree? Just kidding.
Hey.
Okay, dodge, and weave, dodge and weave, punch. Okay. I forgot we were supposed to actually get hit by them, so let's go get hit. And now that we're in here, we can't get hits. In fact, we can push them around, which is kind of awesome. That's actually kind of a lot of fun right here.
Right.
Yep.
Or left.
Can you give them a good punch? No, you can't really punch them. They just kind of roll. They're kind of cool. We could make them bouncy, but I really want to make sure the frame rate stays super strong, so I didn't really want to do that. And I also want to dynamically spawn these in, so that way there are as few as possible in play as at any time. We're not going to use asset spawning, but we are going to do something similar. The reason we're not using asset spawning is because asset spawning is when you have something else that you can replace it with, right? Like if we were going to spawn balls sometimes, but then like maybe it's basketballs sometimes, and then sometimes we're spawning soccer balls and like the game is changing dynamically, that's a good use for asset spawning. Because we always need to have this number of balls available. It's not like we can save space by removing them. So it doesn't make sense to actually asset spawn them. Hopefully that explanation helps. Okay, so we've got our balls in, and that worked pretty well. Now what we want to do is, like I said, we could make them bouncy. We're not going to make them bouncy. We really do need to think about collisions very early on. Since we're still in our gray box stage, I wanted to ask you, Foria, if you could think about this area a little bit for me. So if I go and ungroup this, I'm going to say that we're A-okay using ramps as collisions. It's not great. So theoretically, you could actually make this with a cube and pretty much have it look identical, right?
Yep.
I mean, almost identical. I guess the top wouldn't be as... I mean, the top would like slant down a little bit, so it wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, the sides are... We could definitely do
Cubes are way better for collisions than triangles, so... That, and then this is a terrible one for collisions. Like this is going to cause a lot of lag because this world in particular really needs to think about it. So this looks good, but we might need to make it non-collidable and put up some cube colliders for it, because these balls, every single one of them for every frame of the game is trying to calculate a collision with this object. And this object is equivalent to like all of the cubes in this world all at once with one single object. So just want to be careful with anything that's a mesh-based object, which these triangles and anything that's not a cube or perfect sphere is. So thank you, Euphoria. Let's go on and also think about the firing of the balls. So right now we've got the balls, but we want to add them to a list. So I'm going to go and actually delete all but one of the balls again. And this is pretty common practice when you're working on a complex world, like to have one of the asset and then duplicate it later. And this allows us to not only just have one that we can modify and then keep the updates for later, it also means that we can remove a couple and never know about it. So if you needed like an extra 0.5% capacity, you could actually get that by deleting 2 of these. Because do keep in mind, 4 of these equals 1% capacity. They're pretty expensive. Okay, so what we need to do now is, did somebody want a fun colorific job?
That would be great.
Cray? You're invisible, Cray. Is your head in the ground somewhere? Oh yeah, there's Cray.
Yeah.
There she is. You're in the ground. It's okay. You can be in the ground. So we needed to create a color palette of plastics for our balls. So I'm going to create this section over here as static objects, just so you can get a sense of what they're going to, well, actually we'll leave them interactive so you can get a sense of what they're going to look like. I'm going to turn off the script though, and turn off physics so they're just grabbable. So these ones here, Cray, you can use to create a color palette for us, and then we'll apply this color palette to all the balls. I'm also thinking we could run one really simple script. 1 second, delete, and duplicate, array tool. If you remember in Bubble Wrap, we did something similar to this, where we used the position value to create a color. So when on world was started, we set the object's color to be different. And then we created a new color from the operators tab. And this was color, new color from RGB, but then it was HSV to RGB. So we put that in first, HSV to RGB. Then we put new color in. And this isn't RGB, it's actually going to be HSV. And then HSV is hue, saturation, and value. We want it to be fully saturated and 100% value, which means brightness, and then, or roughly translates to brightness. And then the new color is going to be a random, where is it? Random number with decimals between 0 and 1. There we go, 0, and duplicate 1 over. Perfect. So now what we should see if I hit play is all of these colors, and if Cray approves of the color palette, then we're going to go with it. Clear and play. You like those colors, Cray?
Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh, that was kind of fun to watch. And if we hit stop, we can see a whole nother set of colors. So every time you play, they'll be different. So less purples there, but hey, there we go. That's kind of a cool set. You never know what you're going to get, because life's like a box of chocolate.
I love random.
Me too. Random is always more fun. Okay, cool. That's the way we're going. Thanks for your help, Cray. Really appreciate you.
Gotcha.
So we're going to keep just one of those balls, delete the rest. Okay. So then the next thing that we need to do was create a manager that knows like all the balls. So we're going to go and create a gizmo script, and we're going to attach this to, say, spawn point. And then we're going to open up the properties panel, and we're going to turn spawn on start off. This is just my personal preference that I've been using recently. We're going to attach this to the top of this guy here, and then we're going to go and put this on top of the ball script. And so this is going to be called the ball manager. So to start us off with our ball manager, we need to grab when event is received. And this event is going to be called add me. So create a new event name called add me, and it's received with a parameter. So click new parameter, select object, and this object is a ball. So we'll call it a ball. Now over on our variables tab, we're going to create a new variable, which is a list of objects. So click object, select list, and then call this balls. Make sure to include the S so that these names are not the same, otherwise it won't work. Then we're going to go to our operators tab, scrolling near to the bottom where we have list, and then we'll select add to list. We're then going to add the ball to our balls list. Now with that set up, we can now cycle through our balls. So we're going to need an iterator. That's an I value, so we'll call that I. And then we can use this to get balls. So we're going to create an event called get ball. There we go. And if I can spell correctly, there it is. So now when get ball is received with an object parameter called the getter, we're going to click confirm. Then we can send an event back, also called getBall, to the getter with a ball value. Now this ball is going to be the next ball. We need to cycle through the balls so that every time you select send get ball, you get a different one. So we set I to be +1 modulus. And I'll explain what that does in just a second. Drop the modulus in first, grab the plus symbol. And so we're going to need to get I. So we're taking I and we're adding 1 to it. Values tab, scroll down to number input, select 1. And now we've got our I going up by 1. But when it gets to the end of the list, we need to cycle it back to 0. And to do that, we grab modulus, which we've already put in. Then at the bottom next to list, we see length of list. And length of list here, we can get the length list of balls. And this is going to allow us to cycle back to the beginning of the list. Now, what's interesting about this is that the length of balls is, sorry, just thinking here, set I to I +1 mod length of balls. This is a static number that isn't going to change. So let's set a value to be that. So we'll create a new number variable called ball list length, balls list length, and that's a number variable. Click confirm. And then on world start, or when add me is received rather, we can set balls list length to the length of balls. Now, unfortunately, we're doing this every single time add me is received, but because this will go off on the very last ball being added and set the ball list length to be the last ball, that will then give us the correct length, which means we can just use that here at the end of our list. So we're not calling this length of over and over again, which is going to make our script a little bit more efficient. So when we're calling hundreds of balls per second, and I thought we could actually make this even more efficient if we set I to be I plus 1, and then we grab 3 balls. Like, what if we grabbed 3 balls at a time and we sent 3 balls back to the getter? So it's queuing up. It's an option that I'm not opposed to, but I think we're going to stick with just 1 for now. It should be fast enough. It should be okay. But if we needed to, we could send multiple balls. Now, to send the ball back to the getter, we need to actually include it as a parameter. So we're going to go back to our operators. Under list, we can see get item from list, drop that into new parameter slot. We're going to grab item I from the balls list, and that's going to return the current ball. So it starts at 0. It's going to cycle all the way up. When this I value reaches the length of list, it'll equal 0. So it'll say list length is, let's say, 20. Then when this I equals 19 plus 1 is 20, 20 mod 20 is 0, and then it starts back again. And that's because the item at index 20 is actually 1 over, because you start at index 0, so 19 is the 20th ball. Okie doke. So we've got our ball manager. We now need to attach this to our spawn point over here, so we're going to call that the ball manager. And under the ball script, we need to send add_me to the ball manager. So we need to create a new object variable, which is going to be called the ball manager. And confirm. And then when world is started, we need to send the event add_me to the ball manager with self. So grab self, thumbstick to the right to do, drop down, select add_me. And now we've got a list of balls. And why did we need a list of balls? Well, as you can see, Euphoria has been working on a cannon over here that looks absolutely fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and select his cannon, dupe it. I'm going to make sure he knows to make it non-collidable. Ungroup for now. Open up properties panel. Yeah,
it was my cannon.
Oh, it's Mama Bree's cannon. Well, Mama, can you make that non-collidable? We'll get you under the bus. Just kidding. These are cool. These look like meshes. Is this a mesh? Or is this custom?
I made it.
You made this spool too? Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Wow, that's sick. Nice job. So, for now, we're going to delete everything we don't need from the cannon. And what we've got here is basically a basic blaster. And so there's going to be a lot of basic blasters. So some of them are going to be complex, but we do need to keep our geometric complexity down. We're running a really high player count world, so we don't have a lot of geo. So anywhere we can save, we're going to. And there we go. So let's go ahead and select this, group it together. We're going to open up, make this non-collidable. And we're then going to set this up for something like that. Something like that. Now, we're not going to animate this just yet, but we want to launch an object out of this cannon. To do that, we're going to just use this cannon, I think, for now. And so we're going to attach a cannon script. So let's go and open up our Gizmos tab, select script. And now this is a little different than most projectile launchers you've seen, unless you've worked with launching actual projectiles. But this is a really cool script, and I highly encourage you to learn it. So this is the cannon. And when world is started, we're going to create an event loop. So we're going to go ahead and send event with delay, send event with delay. We're actually going to delete this, rename it to loop before we get too far into this. Call this loop. Press confirm, drop down, select loop, duplicate, set this to 10 seconds. And we're going to do this one at 10 seconds and this one at 60 seconds. So if something goes wrong, there's always a backup. And then we cancel sending the backup every time this is received. Now, if you're not familiar with events, which is pretty common, so don't be too alarmed if you aren't, what's happening here is when the world is starting, we're sending loop to self in 10 seconds. So in 10 seconds, loop will happen. When loop happens, it cancels any other copies of loop that are happening. It then sends 2 copies of loop to self 10 seconds, 60 seconds later. So if for some reason this event gets dropped, which can happen in a really complex world like this, then we have this backup event to catch it later. And then when this event is received 10 seconds later, this 60-second one gets canceled. So this one is never received, and it cycles another one, and it just constantly loops. So that is how a loop event works. And in this loop, what we want to do is launch a projectile. So under motion, we may, I haven't used this one in a while, launch from object. There it is. So we're going to grab the launch from object. Now we need to know about a object. So let's go start by creating the object ball manager. Okay. And I just remembered our ball has not yet referenced the ball manager. So let's quickly reference the ball manager on our ball and select, drop into there. Perfect. There we go. So our ball manager is in. And over here, we have the same ball manager. And we were going to launch from self here, but let's actually create an event. Remember, the event is called getBall. So when getBall is received with an object called ball, we know that that ball is the one that we want to launch. So let's move our launch event down into the getBall event. And let's also send event getBall as soon as this loop event is received. I'm going to put that after the cancel. So we're going to send getBall with self as a parameter to the ball manager. So send getBall to ball manager with self, then this ball is received back. We then launch the ball from self at a speed. And for our speed, we're just going to currently set it to 100 meters per second and see if that works. And we might actually have a finished script here. Let's go ahead and see if it works. So we're going to call this the cannon. And if this is the end, this is where we're going to call the end of the video. So kind of exciting stuff, guys. There's a lot more you can do with these basics, but we really just want to show you some basics to get you started with your own like game mechanics and just teach you some cool stuff. So script, clear, play. Launch a ball in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it works! It works! Oh, my goodness gracious, it's so exciting. There you guys have it. So that is how we do it. So now to quickly show you the absolute insanity that's about to ensue, we grab our balls, we duplicate 1 million of them. And actually, I'll show you the thing that I was going to show you earlier, which is to make this more efficient. There we go, lots of balls. This does not need to be animated, so we can turn animation off and just have more balls. So click none, no animation. And then we're going to duplicate this and array tool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is looking good. Now, I do encourage you to come on by to Ruler of the Hill sometime and try this out. We'll be launching a basic version potentially tonight if we're lucky. And we'll probably not. It's getting late. But we might. And we'll be making a lot of awesome updates to this in the future. So we hope you'll come and play. And there we go. So got some cannons. And select, rotate, slide back, slide back. All right, script. Let's increase the cannon fire rate. It's not firing fast enough, so let's create a new number variable called fire rate. We should also add like visual effects, sound effects, all that other stuff, so maybe we'll do that too. We're going to change the fire rate to 1, or actually let's delete this, create a new number variable called fire rate min and fire rate max. So that way it's random. Fire rate max, press confirm, and the minimum will be 1 second. The maximum will be 10 seconds. Nah, 5 seconds. Even 1 seems a little low. Let's go down to 0.5. Yeah, make it scary fast. And then here, when we're sending a loop, we'll just change that to be a new number with decimals, random number with decimals right there where the 10 seconds was, and change that from 0.5 to 5. And then let's also duplicate that into okie doke. So all our balls are set up to go. And we might need more balls then. So let's go get some more balls. So I'm going to select this whole list of balls and duplicate. There's a few other things I think we're going to try and show you here, some like optimizations and stuff. And let's go and hit. You guys ready for this? Come on in. Play. Oh, they're a little fast.
Oh my gosh. Whoa, 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 Whoa. Whoa.
It's a little fast.
All
We
right.
should slow them
Oh
down.
my.
Cannons.
Gosh.
Launch
Okay.
speed. We'll drop that down to 10. Okay.
Whew.
Okay, this is a little bit better.
Yeah. Just by a touch.
Just a touch. Oh my gosh! Ah! Yeah, let's go!
No.
Woo!
No. No.
Oh.
It could be more intense. We could make it more intense.
Oh gosh.
This is kind of great, though. Has no one made it here? I thought
Oh, no,
Euphoria
I
did.
No, I have yet.
I ran all the way across.
Oh, Watch out,
Nice.
Euphoria. Get out of my way.
Uh,
Oh gosh.
get out the way.
Oh gosh.
Get out the way. And so
No,
once you
no,
add some more obstacles in, you know, you're
Made
you're on your way. You're on your
Yeah.
way. I think these balls are a little big for our cannons. So I'm going to stop the world, and we can adjust all the balls at the same time by selecting through all of these. Open up their properties panel. Attributes. Drop that down to 1.2. 1.2. 1.2. There we go. Now those should be a little bit better in size, and I feel like their frequency could be faster. So let's go increase the fire rate up to from 5 down to 3.
Where'd I
Let's
go?
add some more balls in here because this just was not enough balls. Obvi, the more balls, the better. That's what we always say in this part of the hill. Woods. There's no hill. I mean, there's woods. There's no woods. There's only a hill. Anyway, select. Duplicate. And this should get pretty crazy. So, can we have more balls? Like, how much more space do we have under our capacity meter? Oh, we got plenty of space. More balls! More balls, my lord! There we
How
go.
many cannons are there now?
Okay, I doubled the balls and that went us over capacity. Let's delete that. Delete that. There it is. Okay. We almost quadruple or double the balls. Okay, script and play. Come on in. Oh, where did I spawn? Why did I spawn here?
Yeah,
Is
that
that just
happened
a
to me.
bug?
I meant to tell it. I meant to
It's
tell
just
you
a
it happened
bug.
to me a couple
Hearing-
times.
They are not making it to the. Oh, am I in party only? No, they're not.
Are they
making
really
it to
not?
the bottom? So
Oh,
they're
you're
hit-
right. There's
Yep.
too few balls. Unbelievable. I think the fire speed needs to be faster. We lowered it to 10. Let's double it to 20. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a little bit more intense. Let's stop the world and try it from scratch. Stop and play. Come on in, everybody.
Oh, we're in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is great.
Oh yeah. There we go. Ah! Oh, this is awesome. This is perfect. Oh, this is tough.
Oh, I almost
Holy.
made it.
Oh man, I almost was there. So close, so close. Oh, got me. They do despawn sometimes in front of you.
Bam,
So-
made it.
Fewer cannons or faster fire speed or both or some variation of the two.
Mm.
Or just drop the players by a couple and have more balls.
Oh,
I'm just gonna go up the sides. There's definitely ways to hack this that we still need to solve. And I'd love to do like targeted. Man, those balls fit in those cannons perfect.
it's so awesome.
Yeah, we just need to add some sound effects and visual effects, and oh boy, this is looking great. That's so much fun. Okay, and stop. Okie doke. I did want to address the problem of the balls falling on world start. And so when the balls are not in use, I want them to be not animated. So when world is started, we're going to the ball, or right here in the ball manager can take care of
Well, I was
this.
thinking-
Action, set object, set simulation to true when the ball is gotten. So we're going to set the next ball, which is a variable, to be this get item I. Then we can use it here when we're setting simulation and here when we're sending it to the getter. And we're going to set simulation of the next ball to be true. And there's ways that we can turn off simulation, like right here when the ball comes in, we'll set ball simulation to false. So now theoretical balls will just kind of like hiccup on world start, clear and play. Yep, they just kind of stay put until they get selected, at which point they get thrown. And we could make it so if once they get to the bottom of the hill, they have simulation turned off. They're not currently making it to the bottom of the hill, so we could increase the cannon speed or decrease the fire rate. We're going to increase the speed to 30. So it's a little bit faster to get them down to the bottom of the hill faster. It's a little more intense, a little more chaotic. And we're going to have a lot more things, but this chaos is really what you come here for. Yeah, now they're getting to the bottom of the hill, which is great. And so what we want to do is when these balls get to the bottom of the hill, I'm going to go ahead and select all the balls. Euphoria, do you mind moving these two out of the way from me? Thank you so much. So we're going to select all these balls, open up the properties panel, and we're going to go into the thing here and turn it to animated. And then when set simulation is done, it should turn it to interactive, I believe. We'll double check that in a minute. And then under attributes, we're going to change the tag to be ball. There we go. So we got our ball tag added. And now, if I let go, they all stay put. And when I hit play, they should still fire off. Yep, there they go. So they still work. And they don't have a hiccup on worlds. Good. And now when they get to the bottom, we're going to create a trigger that detects balls entering it. So this is a trigger that when the balls enter it, will send them back to their spawn point, which we'll create in a second. And so then what we want to do is grab a script. This script is going to run on the trigger, and it's going to say when object enters trigger. So when trigger is entered by object, delete the world is started. Call this the ball no zone, the no zone. It's like the opposite of the O zone. It's the no zone. When trigger is entered by object, I don't know if that made sense. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, we're going to send an event to the ball, which is the object that entered the trigger, called respawn. Or respawn. There we go. So send respawn to the object. That's all it needs to know. So then we're going to go and attach the ball no zone script to this trigger. And then the object tag is ball. And we're going to change this from players to objects tagged. It will be enabled. We're going to put this script over here with our other scripts. We're going to try and clean up our script area here for a minute. That's a little bit better. And then this needs to stretch out over this whole area. So we'll go to this corner and stretch. I have my snapping set to 5 degrees. I need to go change that back to whatever I normally do, which is more than 5 degrees. And then we'll slide that over to here. And the smaller this trigger is, the better. So I'm going to try and make it nice and skinny. And now we're going to go into the ball itself. So on the ball script, we need to create a respawn event, which will say when event respawn is received, we are going to move to origin position. So we need to save an origin position. So I'll go to vector, call this origin position, press confirm, and then set origin position on world start. And looks like we've already got something like this. We can duplicate position of respawn and change it to position of self. And then down here when respawn is received, we're going to move self to the origin position. And then we're going to go grab actions, set simulation of self to false. And with that set up, this should work. Let's go ahead and give it a go and see what happens. Script, clear, and play. So the balls are getting fired. They end up in the trigger. They're stopping, but they're not out of there. I forgot to use the move to. Wait, no. Let's go check. It's definitely working. Move to self to origin position. So I think because simulation is happening first, it's not getting back there. So we'll go and say when event sim false. So we'll say when event sim false is received, set self simulation to false. And then we're going to send that event with a 0.1 second delay or a 0 second delay. And that is going to be the sim false event. There we go. Okie doke. Now let's go ahead and hit play. Try that again. Balls go. And boom, boom, boom. They're gone. And they're all back over here. There's a little bit of motion, but that's kind of okay. That's that 0.1 second delay taking effect. But they're not animating when they're in this phase until they're next grabbed, when they're grabbed next by the next cannon. There is this point where they did seem to get stuck in the cannon for a second. Does seem to be a little bit of a bug, but we haven't had it. Oh, there it happened again. So theoretically, it's grabbing the ball right after it's been respawned, I guess. It's a weird one for sure. I think we can make this better. Okay, so to potentially alleviate that under the ball script, instead of sending this with a 0-second delay, we're just going to grab send event sim false to self with no delay. And this should still happen in the very next frame, which should reduce the likelihood of that bug happening to, like, hopefully none. So go ahead and hit play. So far, so good. These are still respawning. Yep. I don't see anything getting stuck. Yeah, that seemed to have fixed it. All right, let's go down there and check it out. I still spawned in the wrong spot. That's okay. And respawned. Dodge, 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 dodge. Oh no, dodge. Yeah, dodge. And dodge. And weave. And dodge. And weave. Oh no. I think the trick though for this specific setup, the far side, I say that, but you have to still get through this whole opening area. But if you can get through the opening area, which is relatively easy because I say relatively easy and I keep getting hit. Oh my gosh, Cray, how are you still alive? She's going to break her controllers. Oh man, go,
I'm
go,
not
this
really
way.
sure. I'm jumping a lot.
Oh, I did it. Okay. So once you get over here, you're pretty much in the clear. Although it looks like even sometimes they end up there. But yeah, there you go. The cheat. But we'll solve for that in the game, obviously. But this is pretty crazy. These balls are really flying, guys.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, and then the balls
mean,
are respawning back here too, which is good.
What speed is this on
I think we
now?
could even
Oh my
move
goodness.
these. They're 30 right now. 30 meters per second. So pretty fast. Pretty
Yeah.
fast.
Oh, that hit your. Oh, Mom, you got hit. I saw you. That's
I
wild.
thought I
You
saw a
just
ball actually
disappeared.
get stuck inside the tube. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and stop the world. And I think the next thing to do, we need to add sound effects and a bunch of other stuff. I was going to suggest that we could use our ball manager to store a list of visual effects and sound effects and then send those through at the same time over here. We might end up doing that. But I did want to actually just wrap up the video here today. We got lots of videos showing simple stuff like that. So if you enjoyed this video, let us know. If there's other things you're interested in, feel free to ask. I do encourage you to join our Discord. That's where we're going to have some of the best information. And it's a great place to connect, ask questions. And yeah, so hope to see you guys in Discord and in Horizon. Until the next time, bye for now. Bye.